Hey there Pyromaniacs, welcome to part 2 of Showcase Season. In the last video we covered Sony's State of Play, and now in this one we're covering the proper Summer Game Fest showcase itself. The one where we all gather around the mummified corpse of E3 and watch Jeff Keighley show us commercials for an hour. Or more like 2 hours, dear god. But without further ado, let's just get into it. Of course, it's not a Summer Game Fest if Jeff doesn't bring out Hideo Kojima, so of course, one of the first presentations in the showcase is none other than Death Stranding 2. Very weird, very cryptic, very Kojima. I actually didn't play the first game, so I'm sure that everything in this trailer would have been way more impactful to me if I had, but to me, this is just more Kojima weirdness. Next up, of course, because I'm me, I have to talk about Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, a new Sonic racing game with a portal mechanic that lets you transition between tracks. Something cool about this game is they actually brought back the extreme gear from Sonic Riders. That being said, they don't seem to play the same, but it's still great to see that return. They also have Hatsune Miku as a playable character, along with characters from Yakuza and Persona. So this is more or less just a Sonic and Sega All-Stars racing successor in all ways except name. Oh, and Steve from Minecraft is there for some reason. If I had a nickel for every time Sega made a Sonic product about the multiverse and didn't use it to add fan-favorite characters from other Sonic media, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. Next up is Mouse, PI for Hire, a crazy black and white rubber hose era boomer shooter inspired by old Mickey Mouse cartoons. I've actually been following this game for a while and it looks insane. I'm very excited for this game and it's really cool to see it here. And then we have the announcement for Atomic Heart 2. I still have to get around to playing the first one because these games actually do look really fun to me. I'm a sucker for retrofuturism, so seeing a series of games set in a retro-futuristic alternate universe version of Soviet Russia just sounds really cool to me. It's also just interesting to see that this new installment is going in the open world direction. While the last one was an immersive sim with heavy Bioshock inspirations, this one seems to have more inspirations in games like Far Cry or Just Cause. Which, if it is going in that angle specifically, I'm not sure how excited I am in this one, because these open world first-person shooters are so aggressively hit or miss. But hey, maybe they can bring something new to the table that makes it stand out. Who knows? And then we have Felt That Boxing, a bizarre Muppet-inspired Punch-Out clone? It has this perfectly silly atmosphere where it seems like it's playing the story totally straight, but they're Muppets, so it's really funny. This is a genuinely hilarious concept for a game that I actually really want to play. Next up is LEGO Voyagers, a new co-op LEGO game, but not the kind of Traveler's Tales co-op LEGO games you're probably used to. This looks like a very new take on LEGO games, where instead of playing as minifigures like in most LEGO games, you're instead taking control of the blocks themselves. It seems to have more of a focus on solving puzzles and traversing the world, and it all just has a very charming energy that I can see people loving. There's a Deadpool VR game coming out apparently, starring Neil Patrick Harris as Deadpool, which is honestly really good casting. There are already a bunch of people who like to roleplay as Deadpool in VR games like Boneworks, so it was only a matter of time until we got an actual Deadpool VR game. Although, the reveal did include a jab at Silksong, which I'm sure triggered quite a few people. Like, don't kick Silksong fans when they're down, man. They've been through enough. And then there's Acts of Blood, a brutal beat-em-up game made by a small studio in Indonesia. It looks very fun. The gameplay looks like a fusion of the Batman Arkham games and Sifu, and aesthetically it reminds me a little bit of the movie Oldboy, if you know what I mean. Just this very gritty and heavy look to everything. I'm definitely gonna keep an eye on this one because it does look really fun. Scott Pilgrim is getting a new game with Scott Pilgrim EX, a sequel to the Scott Pilgrim game that came out 15 years ago as a tie-in with the movie. It's really cool to see a new one of these after all this time, considering the turmoil the first game went through after being removed from digital storefronts only to be brought back just a few years ago. Something kind of cool that they showed off is that in preparation for the 007 game, IO Interactive is adding a Casino Royale mission to Hitman. This one just kind of stuck out to me just because the idea of shaking up this iconic story by replacing James Bond with Agent 47 is just such a cool concept. Considering Bond and Agent 47 are such different characters, it makes sense that the story is going to go differently, and they've already hinted at exactly that. They could not have announced this next one in a more strange way, because Alex from Street Fighter 3 is finally coming to Street Fighter 6, along with C. Viper and Sagat. I kinda knew that Alex was gonna show up eventually in one of these DLCs, considering he's more or less the protagonist of Street Fighter 3, and Street Fighter 6 is set right before Street Fighter 3, but these characters were announced in the most bizarre trailer I've seen in a while, with a guy that I guess is an AEW wrestler dressed up as the different characters. It's not different wrestlers, it's just the same guy over and over again playing these different characters. Wu-Tang Rise of the Deceiver is a game that exists now for some reason. A Wu-Tang Clan hack and slash game. It looks cool, I guess, but I'm just kinda wondering, is Wu-Tang still relevant? I don't see many people talking about the RZA, the Jizza, and the Old Dirty Bizza these days, so why now? Finally, to close out the show, they announced Resident Evil 9 Requiem. And in this one, we're finally going back to the bombed out ruins of Raccoon City. They didn't show off too much of it, but it seems to be a new direction for the series altogether. Surprisingly though, it's actually releasing February of next year, so we probably won't have to wait too much longer to learn more. So, my final verdict for Summer Game Fest, I'm gonna be honest, this show was a 2-hour slog. They showed off a ton, but very little of it really caught my interest. And even the little that I was interested in didn't really get me that excited. The biggest thing for me really was just the goofy Muppet fighting game, while everything else was pretty underwhelming. With all that said, next up I'll be covering the Xbox showcase, so stay tuned for that video in the next couple days. Until then, thanks for watching. If you like this video, leave a like and become a pyromaniac yourself by subscribing. Until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.